Hello, hello, Jamaal Rashad coming to you from Frederick, Maryland. Today I'm with my friend Rick Weldon of the Frederick County Chamber. He is a husband, he's a father of 3, and he's a grandfather of 5, so he's definitely getting up there in age, right? So, ValorLives Interview Series, Episode 11, Why am I doing what I'm doing? Number 1, because there's successful people who deserve to have their stories told. Number 2, because there's people out there who need to hear successful stories. And number 3, to let you know you could go out there with a camera phone, a tripod, and a selfie stick and impact your community in a positive way. So just like always, no episodes over 10 minutes long, no editing, no lighting, no fancy equipment, just raw and uncut, one take. Mr. Weldon, how are you, sir?
I'm great, Jamal. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful,
Good.
Wonderful. So, why do you do what you do?
Because I was taught when I was young that whatever gifts you've received, you've got to figure out how to pay those gifts forward to others. So that's why I do what I do.
All right. So how long have you been here at the Chamber?
So I've been here a little over 2 years, just about 2.5 years at the Chamber.
So what has been one of the proudest moments with you in your tenure here at the Chamber?
Being asked by the then president, a friend of mine for a long, long time named Rick Adams, to come to work here. I had served on the Chamber board for years as a board member. So after I completed my political service in the House of Delegates, Rick asked me if I would consider coming to work here to imbue the membership with some of the, again, the gifts that I'd received over the, my 25 years in public service. So maybe that was the crowning moment, that phone call from Rick that said, hey, I'd like you to come in and talk. I think you can help us here.
Okay. And have you had any low moments so far here?
Sure I have. We've been through a lot of change in less than 2 years. So we've been through essentially 3 CEOs in 2 years. That's difficult for any organization. It's doubly difficult for a membership advocacy-based organization because consistency is the best aspect of a membership organization. So when we've had that level of change, it introduces a lot of challenges, but I think we've weathered them very well.
Okay. And how do you create team culture? Because obviously you have a lot of employees and you have a lot of members, maybe not so much from the members, but from the employees here. How do you create team culture where everybody's happy and thriving and getting along? So
it's not just here with our team, because our team's pretty small. We have, basically 9 people that work here at the Chamber. I'd say it has more to do with the membership, which is just under 1,000 companies, and also this program that I love, I'm passionate about, called Leadership Frederick County, where every year we take a group of 40 couple very high performers, immerse them in the culture and the history and the industry of Frederick County, so that at the end of that 9-month period, they are somebody who can go out and make a huge impact. But how do I do it? I don't teach people how to lead. I teach people how to recognize that the characteristics of successful leadership live inside of all of them. It doesn't take me to lecture. It just takes me to take somebody by the arm and show them that all those characteristics they need to be successful are resident right inside. And that's what I do.
So you kind of get them to believe in themselves.
So I encourage them to see those characteristics that live within them. But then we also expose them to all the challenges and the obstacles and the benefits of Frederick County. And when those 2 things come together, a person realizes their self-potential and understands the challenges in our community, that's when we're creating high-performing leaders.
Good stuff. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, I'd like to be a better man, husband, father, and grandfather. I'd like to see another 5 classes of 40 couple great high energy leaders coming out of that Leadership Frederick program. I'd like to see our chamber membership up over 1,000 members again. But most important, I'd like somebody to say to me 5 years from now, you're a better man than you were 5 years ago.
Amen to that, brother. How do you balance work and family time? 5 grandkids sounds like a lot.
It's tough. It's tough. But I'll tell you, that's a life regret of mine. All the 25 years I was in politics and government, I missed a lot of birthdays, anniversaries, Little League games, basketball games, and that's a regret. So that's a true life lesson, is to learn what really matters. Stay true to your internal compass, and don't sacrifice the moments that will live forever in someone's mind for a moment that will live in the headline of the next day's paper. So I've learned a lot, and I'm going to carry those lessons forward.
Do you have a family? Do you have a morning routine, something you do every morning to get your day started and running successfully?
So I do. I read the Frederick News Post, the Hagerstown Herald Mail. I read them hard copy paper. Online, I read the Baltimore Sun, the Washington Post, and the New York Times, at least the editorial pages. I watch 1 hour of Morning Joe on MSNBC because that sort of gives me the national, international, then I have the local. So that's a routine. I've done that since I was before I ran for public office 25 years ago. That's always been my morning routine. Starts at about 5 o'clock.
All right. What book are you currently reading or audio are you listening to?
So it's The Final Days. Woodward and Bernstein's follow-up to All the President's Men. They just put that book out, and it's as good, if not better, than All the President's Men, because it's a tick-tock description of what happened when the Nixon administration started to crumble, how people bailed, how people retrenched. It's a great book, really fun read.
Okay. Do you have one success habit?
Success habit. So I believe in the people that I'm surrounded by often more than they believe in themselves.
Okay.
So a success habit, it's something I try to do every day, is make people like you feel comfortable about what it is you can achieve. And I've watched with great pleasure that when people come to that dawning realization, it just fires an engine in them that lets them blast through every obstacle that's in front of them. So that's my success habit, is helping people identify that the ability to make change already exists within them. It's just a matter of firing it up.
Perfect. What are you most thankful for?
I am most thankful for a woman that's been married to me for 37 years who saw the potential in a skinny, obnoxious little kid in Newcastle, Delaware, and jumped along for that ride and has been through all the ups and downs for 37 years.
Okay. What one book would you recommend to somebody?
Wow. One book.
Yeah.
Geez, I don't know that I'd recommend one book, although the book that changed my perception of politics and its influence was a book called Master of the Senate, about Lyndon Johnson when he was the Senate Majority Leader, because it taught me you can manipulate the wheels of power. Anybody can if you're smart enough. But if you want to actually do something that means something more than the moment, you've got to have enough vision to figure out how to do that. And Lyndon Johnson did. It's how he passed the Civil Rights Act. So that's the book, Master of the Senate.
Okay. Do you have a key to staying humble?
Well, for me, it's my wife.
Okay.
It's that woman that's been around me for 37 years, because when I've made the mistake of believing my press, she's been right there to remind me of how flawed I am as a man and a human being. So
sounds
matters.
Good to me. All right, so in wrapping up, we're going to now do the rapid fire section, where I'm going to either ask you a question or say a word. You give me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
And the interesting thing about this is I don't even know what I'm going to ask you, so this should be fun. Okay, so Frederick County, Maryland.
Complex.
Okay. Carroll Creek, that, you know, where they're rebuilding Carroll Creek down there by the the bus station.
Opportunity.
Okay. In the Streets, the festival that we have every year.
Too crowded.
Too crowded, yes. I will agree with that. Okay. Being the oldest chamber in the United States.
Challenge.
A challenge.
So what I mean by that is we can rest on our laurels and we can always be the oldest chamber. Mm-hmm. Don't we want to be the best chamber? I feel a lot more enthusiasm about figuring out how to tell people we're the best chamber than I do to go around and tell people we're the oldest. So challenge.
Sounds good to me. Okay, and I know you're heavily into politics, so just one word, Donald Trump.
Not a fan.
Right,
yeah,
perfect.
Not a fan. Well, as you've seen on social media, I am not a fan.
All right, cool. Well, wrapping up here, how can people get a hold of you?
So the best way is my cell phone. Okay. So it's either a call or a text to 240-367-6146, and I return every call. Might take me a day, but I return every call and I respond to every text.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Weldon. Interview series number 11. Go to my website, ValorLives.com. Put in Rick in the search engine. All his information will come up, the way you could contact him, Facebook, chamber information, all that good stuff. Go out there, show some valor. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Thank you very much.